Music's helped me a lot last year. Here are my top 10 favorite rap albums of 2021. Honorable mention goes out to Zillakami, Dogboy, from his progression to rapping, yelling, and now this grunge alternative type music with rap elements in there. It's amazing to see, and he's building up his own foundation and style. I absolutely love this album. At 10, Polo G, Hall of Fame. It was good enough to make my top 10 list, but at the same time is probably one of the more weaker Polo G projects that I've heard. If we compare it to last year's The GOAT, I thoroughly enjoyed that way more than Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame sounded very generic to me. They had amazing features, and Hall of Fame 2.0 added a couple more songs to it that added to the enjoyment level of it, but it just didn't hook me as last year's Polo G album. Still a very motivational album. That's always my interpretation of whenever I hear majority of Polo G's songs. At 9, I have Injury Reserve, By the Time I Get to Phoenix. I enjoy a project the more I can relate to it, and this project is basically my life last year. It's all over the place. It doesn't really have a clear direction. Sounds are muffled. It's a roller coaster that's just trying to get over grief and to continue to keep moving forward with the loss of their friend. It's definitely a unique thing, the way music can impact your mood for the better, for the worse. And this project, for me at least, made me feel less alone about what I was going through. Saying all that sentimental stuff and still ranking it at 9 doesn't really make any sense, but to me, I won't be going back and listening to this album repeatedly because that's a part of my life that I feel like I've moved past, and there will be a couple songs that I will always go back to in the future, but I like to think I'm in a better place mentally, and I thank this project for helping me keep moving forward. At 8, Tom the Mailman, Sometimes Sorry Isn't Enough. What a beautiful title that is. I've been listening to his music for the past couple of years, and I've had the pleasure of playing Among Us with this man. I feel he's an extremely underrated artist, and this project, just by looking at the numbers alone, seems to be pushing him into a bigger spotlight, which is super deserved. It's a nice mix of genres, about heartbreak, about getting over it, people using you and then coming back into your life. Having the viewer, the audience, the listener feel some type of emotion is something I always strive to do, and makes whatever you create more memorable, just like this album was. At 7, Sleepy Hallow, Still Sleep. Sleepy Hallow has been going absolutely crazy alongside Chef G, but last year I felt was the year he finally took a step out, with multiple songs of his blowing up, specifically 2055 off this project. He's holding it down while Chef G's locked up, and he's really become his own artist. For the past 2 years now, I've been listening to Chef G really heavily. So to see this progression from Sleepy and just, waiting for the inevitable when they're back making music together, how amazing that's gonna be. Then having the deluxe version of this drop, adding even more hits and more features, makes it that much better of a listen, and I highly recommend you check it out. At 6, I have Jack Harlow, That's What They All Say. This technically came out in 2020. It did not come out in 2021, but it came out at the end of 2020 in December. And to be totally honest, I was extremely disappointed coming from Confetti, his prior project, to this. I didn't really vibe with it at the time, and I thought it was extremely lackluster. And I feel like I solely based my distaste for this album off of the radio hits that were on this project. I wanted that same Jack Harlow from Confetti, where he can make radio hits and put it on the album, but also make genuine music. There is still that on this project, it's just not at the forefront, I felt. But what really made me fall in love with this album and being disappointed to actually loving it is what I was going through. Songs like Creme, Same Guy, and Keep It Light, those 3 songs, just listening back to back, those hit different. My personal favorite is Keep It Light. Very relatable. People showing you their true colors, those that thought you were the closest to. At 5, Kanye West, Donda. I absolutely love Kanye. I don't think I've ever had an album of his be at my number 1 spot in like the 6 to 7 years I've been making these top 10 lists. And that's because all of Kanye's albums, they grow on me over time. I don't necessarily think I've ever hated an album that Kanye released other than Yeezus, but even Yeezus, I like it now. His self-titled project, Ye, I didn't really like it when it first came out either, but now it's one of my favorites. So that's the beauty of music. And I personally would have loved to see some of these songs version when they were on Yandi instead of Donda, but what we got is what we got, and we have to appreciate greatness, because for the most part he made those songs better. There's so many good songs on this and so many good features. My personal favorite has to be Off the Grid. Just the progression of the instrumental becoming a drill beat is perfect. At 4, this is where it gets really difficult to rank the next few projects, but we have Kenny Mason's Angelic Hoodrat Supercut. This is a beautiful album. I fell in love with it because it's just something that sounds completely different than anything else I've heard. In the beginning, I mentioned Zillakami's Dog Boy album as an honorable mention. This takes elements of that type of music, grunge, alternative bass, to more melodic rapping. It's a very unique sound, and it kind of reminds me of like how music was back in the 2000s. It's a very nostalgic feeling listening to this album, even if I've heard nothing like it before. I've been pushing for Kenny Mason, and I've been a huge fan of him ever since YouTube recommended me his song Hit, and his music is just keep going up from the looks of it. At 3, I have Don Toliver, Life of a Don. When I think of Don Toliver, I think of a more redefined version of Travis Scott that took that sound and tweaked it and made it sound a whole lot better. And that makes sense considering he is Travis Scott's artist. Travis Scott already being mega popular, had a great album in Astroworld, but is he gonna get better than that? Is he gonna drop anything? He doesn't need to. 2018 was peak Travis Scott. And these past couple of years, it seems like Don Toliver's been taking over a little bit. Making love songs, making club songs. He has a variety of different ways to get your attention, and Life of a Don got my attention wholeheartedly. From 5 times, Double Standard, 2 AM, Smoke. This album is just a bunch of bangers after bangers. At 2, I have 99 Neighbors, Wherever You're Going. I hope it's great. This album, these songs have helped me so much in my life this past year. I have not found a more relatable album than this, where each song I feel something, I feel an emotion. And the plan is to go in depth on these songs in the future, hopefully with the video, because like I said, they've helped. Music heals people. Music helps you get through things. And I want to show my gratitude for the help that they've allowed me to accomplish last year and this year and moving forward. Love you guys. I'm extremely thankful and grateful that I know about y'all and that you continue to make music. At number 1, Baby Keem, The Melodic Blue. I'm not attached to this album as emotionally as I am the prior album I just mentioned, but this is by far the most perfect album I've heard last year. From start to finish, there's no skips. It has a good mixtures of deep songs to turn up songs. Baby Keem is the literal perfect artist. When you think of guys like Kendrick Lamar, it's a very similar sound to Kendrick, but he's not as much of a rapper as Kendrick. He's more, Playboy Cardi sometimes. He's more of a new generation of rapper, and I feel he does all things great, and this project shows all the things he does great in his music. His past 2 projects have been some of my favorite albums of that year, and it's amazing to see him just to continue to grow. Issues and Scars being some of the most beautiful songs on the album. I highly recommend you check this project out. With that being said, those are my top 10 favorite rap hip-hop albums of 2021. Let me know yours in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe, check out some of these other videos. I've been gone for a while, and hopefully I'm back on the right track in creating, impacting people's lives, and just being myself. Something that I've been afraid of for the past couple of months. Love you.